Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Finding Common Battlegrounds, the podcast dedicated to finding the truth between both sides, listening to both sides, the left and the right, and determining what's true and what's not. Our experience has been it's complicated, right? And it can be, but like it's better than listening to your stupid echo chamber, where you're hearing everything you want to hear, and it just all sounds good, and it's feels good, but you're not actually getting the truth. You're getting, what is it, blue pilled? You're getting blue pilled?
One of them, blue or red.
Blue's where you stay in the bubble, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
In the Matrix.
Anyway. Yeah. Today we're going to talk about COVID, Fauci, some declassified documents regarding that, the Iran ceasefire, follow up on that, and a little bit of World Cup. It's like a little controversy there with Trump and stuff. So it'll be good.
But it was incredible. Tom and I just wanted to talk pure soccer, and Ryan's like, Trump, he's involved, Trump.
You asked for new topics, and I was just trying to think of what was in the news, and the only thing that's been in the news.
Trump is so evil.
No, I didn't even say that. The only thing that's been in the news that's not World Cup for me was Balogun. We got to talk about Balogun.
World Cup.
Let's do it. So, all right. I actually didn't. Was this the game that you watched, Josh?
Yeah, it was the Bosnia-Herzegovina game against the U.S. last week. We were up by 1, and then we got our star attacker, our best goal scorer, Folarin Balogun. He's
been our carry this entire term.
Well, he hasn't been our best player. He's just been our top goal scorer. He got a really terrible red card, and it was controversial for several reasons. The Bosnia player, they were both going for a ball, and the Bosnia player kind of came from his blind side and just put his foot in there as Balogun was reaching for a ball. So Balogun stepped on his ankle. Okay, the ref didn't call it in the run of play. He didn't even call a foul. Okay, so then it was VAR. They told the ref, "Hey, take a look at this." So if you actually stop and just look at the still screenshot of the foul. Looks really bad. It's bending his ankle.
It looks really bad if you look at it
from the one angle. It looks really bad. But during the run of play, it may be a foul. But they were going for a 50-50 ball, and Balogun himself said, there's only so many places I can step when I'm up in the air, and he put his foot underneath him. So borderline yellow card at best.
I'd say it was a yellow.
Maybe, but it was 50-50 ball. There was no bad intention. Everybody agreed.
Well, that's the key, is that there was no bad intention. He was not trying to be aggressive in any way. No. It was an accident, right? Bad accident. I mean, the guy did get up and he played afterwards, right? So it wasn't like it was so vicious it destroyed somebody. It was bad. I think it was a solid yellow. That's where I would put it as a foul.
Here's the key to the first part of the controversy. If the ref, according to FIFA rules, if the ref doesn't call the foul in the run of play, VAR can't come back and say, "Hey, this is a red card. You got to get this guy off the field." So it was handled completely inappropriately. That was not supposed to happen. VAR was not supposed to come back and tell the ref, "You need to call this." So his red card was very controversial, and it was completely undeserved. And so then the next part of this is, for some weird reason, FIFA had no appeal process. They said you can't appeal red cards, which is really weird, because in pretty well every league in the world, you can appeal a red card, because your player not only gets kicked out that game, they have to sit out the next game too.
Right.
That's a really big deal. The U.S. ended up scoring another goal and winning that game 2-0. So then you want to take over, Tom, or do you want me to keep going explaining controversy?
No, keep going. Yeah.
Okay, so that happened when was the Bosnia game? It was over a week ago. Yeah, last week. And FIFA initially came out and said, "Yeah, we don't have any appeals process. Sucks to be you, America. Sucks to be Folarin Balogun." Obviously it wasn't a red card, but you can't appeal it. And then the day before the next game against Belgium, all of a sudden that morning, FIFA goes, "Hey, yeah, you're good. We we have some obscure rule somewhere that says that we'll rescind it for a year and you're kind of on probation, but we'll rescind the red card. You're good. And everybody was like, that's strange. That's really weird because you said that wasn't going to happen. And then in the afternoon, it kind of comes out that, Trump may have been involved. He made a phone call to FIFA. And then FIFA rescinded the red card. So the Belgians were obviously super pissed off, which is silly to me. They're just a better team. They should have come out and said, okay, play him. We don't care. We're going to beat you no matter what. But they were total pansies.
We're recording this on July 7th, the day after the U.S. just got their asses handed to them by Belgium.
Yeah, so Balogun did end up playing the entire game. He started, and the U.S. lost badly. It was a bad game. And so that's the controversy, that Trump got involved.
Well, and so my brothers were talking about this, and they said that it's FIFA's rules that governments can't get involved with this, right? And so clearly Trump got involved, right? And made some phone calls and put some pressure on. So what do you guys think about that?
Right, you go first. I've already been talking.
Okay, so I think I agree with most of what Josh said. I mean, obviously there's a little bit of disagreement on like the severity of the foul. I do think it was a solid yellow, just because it was a bad foul, right? Totally unintentional, but sometimes unintentional. That does matter. I don't know that I have a problem appealing a red card, right? So that to me is not a problem. I'm trying to find out what FIFA's actual rules are, though. So I'm looking it up over here on the side to see. I don't think I have a problem with appealing a red card if it was the team or it was Balogun who did it, and FIFA was like, okay, fair, yeah, it was not the best call. It should have been a yellow. That's fine. The only part that bugs me is that it was Trump, right? And here's why. No, here's why. If it had been Joe Biden, I would 100% say the same thing. Don't get involved, right? Like this is the World Cup. It's not supposed to be political in that sense, right? Like obviously we're rooting for our national teams. I get that. That's totally fine. But to have what looks like outside interference into a game that is supposed to just be sports, right? That is the only part that bugs me about this, right? If it had been, I don't know, I don't even care. If it had been, I don't know, what's his name? The head of the House, right? Or the head of the Senate. Somebody else who had done it, right? I'd still feel the same way. It's a political thing. Don't do that. If the coach wants to do it, Pochettino or whatever his name is, right? Yes, that's his job. He should be doing that. The president of the country interfering and then FIFA making a decision based on that.
You would have condemned it even if it was Biden. You'd have been 100%. Like, Biden, back down.
Yeah, this is not
this has nothing to do with Trump.
That's why your brain immediately went to this topic when we asked for topics. No problem.
Because I'm watching the World Cup. I have watched so much soccer in the last 2 weeks.
Hasn't it been glorious? It's been awesome.
It's been absolutely delightful. And
it really has.
The game today, did you watch the game today, Argentina?
No. I heard Tom's brother commenting on it.
If we talk about governments getting involved, Egypt should be making some phone calls because they got their goal.
As the game pulled back, or the goal pulled back.
Yeah. They fouled, like they pulled back a goal because of a foul way back on the other side.
It was literally on the opposite side of the field.
And it wasn't even like bad. It was
he stepped on his toe. That much of his toe.
This is part of the controversy. Okay. Balogun got that red card, and it obviously shouldn't have been a card. Everybody agreed. Messi, who plays for Argentina, and Matt, Tom's brother, is gonna come out of that door and just clobber me because he's such a Messi fanboy. It's disgusting. Messi has committed at least 2 fouls in the World Cup that were egregiously worse than that. One of them, I mean, there's video of it. He's running up behind a guy, just reaches his cleat out and just claws the back of this guy's leg just to stop him. No card at all. Like, he's getting away with almost murder out there and no cards.
So it's because he's Messi.
Because he's Messi. It's interesting. And the whole Argentina team does for some reason. They just get all the calls, as we can see with the game today. So here's my take on it. If FIFA was like a pure upright organization, I would have serious problems with this.
Oh my gosh, you had to go there.
FIFA is so corrupt.
Oh
this
my
is the
gosh.
problem. Do you
Yeah.
think this is the first time a government has stepped in to say, "Hey, FIFA, you want to play ball in our country? You want the money? You
One
better
word,
do
Josh.
what we want."
One word. Qatar.
Shoot. Exactly. They're so corrupt. That's why Qatar got the bid for the World Cup.
100%.
They just blatantly bribed the FIFA officials.
Yes.
This is a
Everybody
very
knows
corrupt,
that.
the very
They
corrupt
had the
organization.
2022 They
Sepp
hosted
Blatter.
Qatar did hosted the 2022.
And they had
Yeah.
to change the timing of the World Cup because it was so ridiculous. It was played in the fall. The World Cup, since
Yeah.
it started in Uruguay in 1930, has been played in the summer outside of the leagues, right?
Yeah.
They literally changed the timing of the World Cup because Qatar is so hot.
It was like
during the
130
summer.
degrees during the
They
day.
can't even play.
Players
Yeah.
be passing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing water breaks here, and they're like, it's still hot, right?
Yeah. So
In
that's
Qatar, they would have died.
so that's my issue. FIFA is corrupt, and as a
Well,
side
that doesn't
note,
make it okay, Josh.
No.
We can't use two wrongs to make it right.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm kind of saying this is just par for the course. If you have a dirty politician, and he takes a bribe, like, are you surprised? Am I supposed to be like super angry about this? Because everybody knows that's what happens. This is FIFA.
You're saying this is business as usual.
This is business as usual, and I'm not saying I like it. Okay. Shout out to my buddy Kelly. So Tom's younger brother Matt. I grew up with him. We played soccer together forever. We have like this text group of all of our soccer buddies, and we comment on every game. So my buddy Kelly, he just commented on this group. He said, it's like there's been a cloud hanging over the U.S. since Trump got involved. This is just such a bad look, and it feels weird. And I'm paraphrasing. We said, I wonder if the players played worse because of this, which may be. I
would feel really awkward if I was Balogun taking the field.
Okay, so Balogun, to his credit, no, after the game, he went up to the Belgium coach and said, I had nothing to do with this. I'm sorry about all the controversy. Like, none of these decisions were made by me. Like, he felt pretty weird about it, obviously. Good on Balogun.
He seems like a decent guy. Yeah, I don't blame him for what happened. No. I don't blame him at all.
He handled the red card with class.
He walked off all of a sudden, field?
Yeah. Well, even afterwards, he's like, "Yeah, I mean, it happens. It sucks. I didn't foul him. Everybody agrees, but it is what it is." He was very classy about the whole thing. So, is it weird that Trump got involved? Yes. Is it a bad look? And did it turn the entire world against the U.S.? Yeah, probably. Because my favorite part of this World Cup so far has been all of the visitors, all of the Europeans mostly, posting videos on YouTube saying, we were lied to about the U.S. This place is awesome. Like, this is really cool. I love the food. The people are super friendly. I'm not getting shot. I thought I'd be shot when I came here. The videos have been great. And then all of a sudden, the whole world turns against the U.S. because Trump pulled some strings. Yep. Right. So I don't like it, but am I surprised and am I losing sleep over it? No, this is FIFA. You want special favors? Pony up, and FIFA will play the game. They are as dirty as it comes. What do you want me to get mad about? Not like this is the first time this has happened. The FIFA used the same obscure rule to get Cristiano Ronaldo into some game after he got a red card. They did the same dang thing for Ronaldo. Okay, it's FIFA.
Ryan?
You know what? Maybe my eternal optimist is coming back after years of being just beaten down by Tom and Josh that the world is all corrupt and so none of it matters. But no, it's the juego bonito, man. It's the beautiful game. We should be ashamed that politics got involved. fully recognizing how corrupt FIFA is. I'm not denying for a second, right? Sepp Blatter was horrifically bad, right? Infantino is not as bad as Sepp Blatter, but he is bad, right? I'm not denying any of that. FIFA is a very corrupt organization. All of that's true. But at the end of the day, you just kind of want them to follow the rules. And here's the weird thing, like looking it up, technically, can FIFA do what they did? Yes. Yes, they can, right? They can't get rid of the red card, but they can suspend the consequences of the red card. So they technically were following rules by doing what they did. It just was gross. It's just gross, and I don't want that to. I don't want that to ruin the World Cup for me, right? If the U.S. loses because we're a shittier team, so be it, right? Don't try and cheat to have us do better than we should.
I actually agree with everything you just said, but what caused this mess? It was FIFA's own crazy rules. Why would you not be able to appeal a red card? Because every league in the world you can appeal a red card. Refs make mistakes. Like, it was their rules that got us into the mess, and there's a lot of controversy about that ref. Apparently, he did some controversial things down in Brazil, like he was accused of fixing games or something. I can't remember. Why is this guy reffing in the World Cup? And why is the VAR official overstepping his bounds and telling this guy to, like, FIFA screwed this up. That's 100% on FIFA that all of this even happened. But I agree with Ryan. Trump should not have got involved because it was just, that's
gross.
That's kind of gross.
It sounds like you're both agreeing that it tainted it a little bit, the whole thing.
Yeah, just as gross. Just like stay out of it. Let them play. Let the athletes be the athletes.
Whatever they're going to do.
I mean, FIFA's corrupt. We all know that. But like that, and I get not every game is going to turn out perfectly because of bad calls, right? Like we were talking about today. Did Argentina really deserve to win that game? I mean, yes, Messi is amazing, and he scored. His second goal was absolutely beautiful, but Egypt kind of got screwed by a bad call, right? Like, I agree. So sometimes the calls change things. You just want to see a beautiful game, right? Like, that's what I want. I want to see two teams just go at it, as fairly as possible. And I want to see the better team win as often as possible. And I want to watch a beautiful game of soccer. And we've had a lot of those, right? We genuinely have. Belgium's comeback against Senegal was actually pretty shocking, right? I hear I need to watch the England. Who did England just beat?
Mexico.
I hear that's a really good game. I haven't watched it yet. Really?
Yep, it's good.
Okay, so I need to watch that one. But I mean, that's what it's all about for me, is just like watching a beautiful game. Just stay out of it, politicians. Don't do that.
I agree.
That's gross.
And the only one that came out of this looking good was actually Balogun, because he was so classy.
You're probably right.
Belgium looked like a bunch of whiny sissies going, we can't allow you to have your best striker in, even though we're a far better team. Like, what a bunch of whiny buttheads. Yeah, nobody came out of this looking good except for Balogun. Props to him.
Well, I hope Balogun. Where does he play? Does he play internationally right now?
Yeah.
Do you know?
But it's crap. It's not Geneva. It's some crappy league.
So it's not
right.
Like top tier league. Tom, what's your take? Come on, you've let us ramble on.
Nah, I generally agree with everything you said. No, I think I completely agree. Yeah, probably just let it be. Keep governments out, even though we kind of know people are tipping scales here and there. It's happening. We know it, but as much as to the extent possible, stay out of it. But don't be naive that it doesn't happen. Yeah, that would. Right. Yeah. All right. We're moving on. Okay. We're gonna next thing is let's go over the COVID declassification. So basically Tulsi Gabbard gave a press release. It was like a couple weeks ago, I think, and just basically declassified a bunch of documents, but essentially called out Fauci for mainly a few things. Basically, he had testified that he had no knowledge or participated in the discussions with intelligence officers about the viral research, but the declassified documents show that he was talking regularly with intelligence officials, and that the U.S. taxpayers taxpayer money did fund gain of research at the Wuhan
Gain of
Institute
function
Bio.
research. Yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Gain of function. Yeah.
And anyway, it's so that was like a big kind of reveal that and we've had discussions on this about that. I mean, a while ago, but talking about it. So it essentially on its face, it looks like that Fauci lied and wasn't telling the truth about a number of things. And so anyway, it's an interesting reveal. And yeah, let's talk about it. Anyone dying to say something?
Josh?
Essentially, we found out that everything that we thought happened. Fauci lied. It started in Wuhan. There was gain of function research. Taxpayers funded it. Fauci and his team lied about all of that. We knew all of this. The liberals fought us on it. They fought us on everything tooth and claw through the whole COVID scandal. We knew all of this. And Biden came out for some inexplicable reason and gave Fauci a pardon, which was really odd. Like, why does he need a pardon if he didn't do anything wrong? And then Tulsi Gabbard just confirmed it. We already knew all of this. And what's going to happen? Is this guy that made a lot of money and was like the most famous person on the planet for a while, Fauci, is he going to suffer any consequences? Nope. Nothing. So, like, it's almost a non-starter for me because we already knew all of this. This was like, we all understood this. This was common knowledge, even if we didn't have the smoking gun. Well, we have the smoking gun. Is it going to change anything? No. It should. He should be in jail. Everybody complicit in this should be in jail. Not going to change anything. That's the crazy part. It's a non-starter. Everybody on the right's like, oh, yeah, shocker. Tulsi Gabbard just confirmed everything we already knew. Right?
So here's the weird thing. I'm going to agree with a big part of that, but not the framing, right?
Okay.
We already knew almost everything that Tulsi Gabbard revealed, right? She oversold this as like the big reveal. And it turns out, like, in the pandemic, right? Like, while the pandemic is on, it was revealed that Fauci had been in charge of an organization that funded gain of function research in Wuhan and a variety of other places around the world. That was revealed while we were in the middle of the pandemic, right? So, like, we knew that 6 years ago. Okay. That's not new knowledge, but she's making it out as though, like, this is a big reveal. Has
it been 6 years?
Yes, 2020.
Holy cow! It doesn't feel like that long ago. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Keep going.
2020, spring of 2020,
wow.
when all this happened.
The good old days of what is it? What do they say? We were when we were locked down.
Yes, lockdowns.
Yeah, days of being locked down.
So that big one about the gain of function stuff, there's nothing new there. Tulsi Gabbard did not reveal any new information about whether this actually came from a lab in Wuhan. That's still debated, right? There's not a smoking gun here. There's nothing definitive. In the scientific community, it's just not known, right? And I'm totally fine saying we don't know the answer to that. We don't know definitively that it was from a lab. We don't know definitively that it was not from a lab. So my position on this now is like, I don't know, right? Maybe it was from the lab in Wuhan. Maybe it was from the wet market. We genuinely don't know.
We don't know that the coronavirus came from the coronavirus lab in Wuhan, China, where the virus started. We don't know. It's shocking. There's not even any evidence.
Josh, we don't. And I'm okay saying we don't. No, we do not. Trust me, there are ways that scientists could totally do this. Now, admittedly, China is not playing along, right? If China gave us some additional information, we might be able to definitively say, yes, it came from the lab, right? But we're missing some information. And that's why I'm fine suspending belief. I don't have a decision. I can't make a decision until I have definitive evidence. She didn't reveal anything new on that front.
Well, okay, a couple of things. I would say, because I agree with you, Ryan, but like it was still being questioned back then, like, and people would say, well, show us the evidence. Show us the evidence, right? Like, Did we fund it? Did it come from a lab? Did Fauci know? And it was like, we have the evidence, right? We have it now. And I agree. Like, we still can't know if it actually came from Wuhan, right, and if it was actually came from a lab. But like, we have as much evidence as you possibly could to make that assumption. But I agree. Like,
is it even an assumption? We know that they were doing gain of function research. Yes. Were they doing that in the wild? And it just, no, they were doing that in a lab.
Yeah. Yes, we know that. But we don't know definitively that it came from the lab.
We don't know.
It's just not 100%. If you want to say that you're 99% sure, that's great. Say you're 99% sure, Josh. I'm fine with that. I'd put myself at like 55-45. I just don't know.
What? Why? What are you defending?
Because I'm not defending anything except science.
45, that's almost 50-50. Like,
yeah. Because I don't have an answer. When molecular biologists come out and say, we've actually traced the DNA to this lab, then I'll be like, okay, done. Right? Like, we're done. Decided.
To all of our listeners out there, do you feel the pain Tom and I go through? Do you feel it in this moment? Because it's so obvious and everybody on the planet knows, and Ryan's still like 55-45. I don't have a molecular biologist.
John Stewart, when he was like, there's some chocolatey, gooey stuff coming out from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we're not sure what it is. We just don't know what this could be out of this building in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And like, who knows? Yeah. But like, yeah, I agree. We definitively don't know, but like,
but we know. We don't definitively know, but we know.
See, and as a scientist. And I hate to use that. As a scientist, I can't say.
I hate to use this term that I use 50 times in every 55. Podcast.
That's like, flip a coin. Who knows?
No, that's where the science is. That's the
it's not. That's not where the science is.
No, you're going where the politics is.
2.
No, it's not. It's not. So
okay, then just answer me this: where were they doing the gain of function research that we know definitively that they were doing?
They were doing gain of function research all over the world, Josh. That's the problem. It's not like there was one lab on the planet where they were doing gain of function research. So we know
it was being done.
It was being done all over the place.
Oh, so what are you denying?
Dozens of labs around the world.
That it was the Wuhan lab? Is that the only thing you're denying?
What do you mean? I'm not denying anything. I'm not denying that they were doing gain of function research in the Wuhan lab. They were 100% doing that. I'm not denying any of it.
Released from there.
Yeah, I'm just saying I cannot say definitively, and you both just agreed with me. I cannot say definitively that that's where it came from. Does a lot of circumstantial evidence point in that direction? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ugh. Turn off this. If you're driving, turn off the podcast because you're going to just want to turn into a telephone pole.
No,
obstinance.
This is something I've been thinking of. And I heard this on some other podcasts, and they were talking about that. So this is really interesting to me. That surveyed today was that they did surveys, and that liberals right now have a higher trust in institutions than conservatives, and I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. But they said it was actually apparently back in the 70s. That was flipped. That conservatives had higher trust in institutions and liberals, and that would be your classic hippie, right? And stuff would be like, no man, the government,
they're fighting the man,
yeah, fight the man, exactly, fight the man. And they had a low trust in institutions, and I find that, to me, I'm conservative, right? I find that interesting because I think today, I think it's merited not to trust institutions, and I think generally on a general, overall,
trust in institutions has gone down for everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just that progressives are a little bit more trusting of certain institutions, and it's very specific institutions. If you want to be clear about it, trust in Congress is at an all-time low, and it's 3% trust Congress to do anything, right? Supreme Court has plummeted, the government's plummeted, banks has plummeted. There are a couple of institutions where people still have some confidence. Military, science, right? Even
Amazon.
religion is in Amazon. Did you say Amazon? Well, they are pretty reliable, but no, they're just a handful of institutions where people are like, man, yeah, it's okay, it's okay, right? But honestly, it's in the shitter across the board. Like people have very little trust in institutions across the board. It's just in a couple of institutions, progressives are higher than conservatives.
Is that merited? Like based on this, right? We're like, hey, Fauci's completely lying to our faces to Congress, and we find out about it later. This is actually a reasonably quick amount of time that we find out stuff, right? Like,
5 years later, we know Fauci was lying.
50 years later, it's like in a relatively short amount of time, we're like, okay, yep, no, he was lying. We like can prove it, and so like, is it merited? Are you over trusting of the institutions, Ryan, and are liberals generally like what? Like, and I'm sure. And the other question I would say is, would we agree that institutions were more trustworthy back in the 70s, right? Like 50, 60 years ago, or are they just as corrupt?
Ooh, so two questions, and Josh is not wrong. Drive into that telephone pole right now, listeners, because I'm going to ask for some nuance, right? Tell me which institutions we're talking about, Tom. So which institutions are you saying I should have less trust in, right? If it's our government, right? Come on. Do any of us have any trust in the government at this point?
Well, even now, there's a ton of institutions,
right,
within the government.
So, right. So tell me which institution, right? Because I think it's going to vary quite a bit depending on the institution.
Then tell me a few. Like you're like, I still trust this one generally, but this one I hate.
Science broadly, right? Science, I have a fair amount of trust in. I totally recognize that there are problems, right? And people are trying to fix those problems. But the nice thing about science is it's self-correcting.
We're literally talking about government scientists that lied to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And guess what? We found out. Right?
Yeah, that they're all corrupt. They all lied to us. And you still trust them because I'm a scientist.
So academic generally.
Science broadly. Science broadly, I think, is a fairly trustworthy institution filled with problems, right? So if we're putting on like 100-point scale.
Yeah.
Okay, 100-point scale, I would say my trust in science is like a 60. It's not 100, right? It's not anywhere close to 100.
What's one of your lowest?
What would be my lowest?
Yeah.
The White House.
Congress at like a 4. In terms of like
Congress
getting stuff
more
done.
than the executive branch? I can't believe your brain didn't
No.
explode.
I mean, which part of the executive branch
Trump.
are we talking about? Trump? It's going to sound weird, but I was literally listening to my morning news briefing today, and they're having a G7 summit. Is it a G7 summit right now in Turkey? No, it's a NATO summit. It's a NATO summit in Turkey. And I'm going to actually say something that hopefully both of you, your brains just explode right now. Everybody in Europe is trying to convince Trump that they're spending more on defense so the U.S. doesn't leave. And I was like, you know what? That's actually something Trump did that I agree with.
Yeah.
Props to you. Good.
Please. I want to see brains explode right now. Like, you should be going, what the hell is happening? Right?
Yeah.
I don't agree with almost anything that he does, but honestly, like, getting Europe to pony up a little bit is not a bad thing. That's actually an okay thing. Right?
Right.
So I'll go with 4% on Trump, right? It's not 0%. It's probably maybe lower than 4%, but like we'll go with 4% or something, right? Those are really low, right?
Love it.
Yeah. So there's high, there's low.
All right.
Sorry, I just saw. I'm getting pop-ups from that text group from my soccer buddies.
Yeah.
And this kid named Jason just said, "Hey, I'm still thinking there's a chance Trump will get the U.S. back in, so I haven't lost hope yet."
Totally.
Can we just overturn a game? We'll just overturn a game.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Sorry.
What? All right, Josh, weigh in on this. Did that question I posed to Ryan about do you think, institutions corrupt, completely corrupt, more corrupt today, less corrupt back in the 70s? Is it merited? Are we over trusting? Not trusting enough?
I've shared this theory before. I think that conservatives and liberals, we kind of mostly want the same thing. We want people to be taken, like, we don't want to see poor people. We want to take care of people. We want to help people. We want to just work our jobs and live our lives, right? We largely want the same thing. But my theory is we go about it two very different ways. Liberals, it's let's vote how we want things to happen, and we'll let the establishment, we'll let the government create our utopia. Whereas conservatives go, I want to be the change. I want to be able to help. I don't want the government interfering because they're going to muck it up. So we would look at the same goals, but we have two very, very diametrically opposed ways of getting there. So in my estimation, the liberals are still voting for the government to be bigger and more powerful so that they can take care of the poor and they can make everything secure and they can fix everything. And it's obviously not a good way to do it, but I believe that's why liberals are still more trusting in institutions. Is it merited? Obviously not. I've been on that bandwagon for a long time. We can see it quite clearly with Fauci and the oh my gosh, what's the Department of
CDC.
Health? Yeah, the CDC. They screwed it up so bad, and they were just instinctively clawing for power. It was so bizarre. And we've gone over this ad nauseum. We've convinced Ryan that the government is corrupt, that almost every politician is corrupt. We talked about it in the last episode, or maybe the one before that, that if you just follow what's her bucket?
I know who you're talking about, just in terms of best
the
investor,
stock market. Yeah.
Best investor ever.
Pelosi, you're going to make a lot of money, and you can also follow the Republicans. Like,
you can also follow Trump. He's doing the same thing.
They're all not good. So no, I obviously don't think it's merited. Is it worse than it used to be? That is a really good question, because our government has done crazy eugenics programs. They've lobotomized, was it retarded people?
All sorts of people.
Yeah. People that got
just one group.
Yeah. People that got pregnant more than they should have. They got
sterilized.
Like, our government has done some really crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, crazy stuff.
Intern Japanese people during a war.
Yeah.
They're Japanese.
Camp Topaz. And I get why they did it. It's insane. I kind of understand the reasoning, but it's insane. Our government's done some really crappy things. To Ryan's credit, I think institution by institution, I'm a little more trusting of the military, but not much more trusting, because the guys that go to the top generally are the people that these soldiers hate, because they're playing politics instead of, like, killing the enemy. So no, it's not justified that we trust our institutions. They're incredibly corrupt. Are they more corrupt? Maybe in different ways. I think it's probably just a little more obvious, because they don't have to even hide it. We could talk about the election in LA a couple of weeks ago, a month or two ago, that got stolen from that actor guy, that reality star guy. Like,
Pratt.
Yeah, it was pretty blatant. Like, they just had these huge dumps of ballots. Like, I think it was 40,000 ballots in a row that all went for the other lady. Like, statistically speaking, this makes no sense. And then a whole bunch of people that voted for him, like tens of thousands of people that voted for him, their ballots were rejected because of signature issues, which has never happened before. Like, and it was blatant. It was blatantly stolen. Did anybody do anything? No. I think the government just doesn't care to hide it anymore. Nobody does anything about it, so they just take the money and walk away. What are you going to do? Nothing.
All right. Yeah. So you're like, to heck with them. So we can agree there's problems. Maybe it's worse. Maybe it's just as bad as it's always been. But I like your take on, and I think I agree with you, Josh, that the liberals, based on their paradigm, they need to have a higher trust in institutions based on, like, the solutions to the problems that like what they're prescribing. But interesting. Yeah, interesting. All right. Anything else there?
I was raising my hand because I wanted to say one thing.
Okay.
I think at some level, and you can call it naive, and that's totally fine. I think at some level, progressives look at other countries. And I'm thinking, of course, of, your Northern European, Scandinavian countries, but there are plenty of countries in Western Europe where there is more government, right? But there are trade-offs there. The trade-offs are virtually no one's poor, right? There's a well-developed social safety net. Everybody has health care. I think that's the vision that progressives want. So I say this all the time. I think Josh is generally right that we agree we want to take care of people who can't take care of themselves. We want to be able to work. We want to be able to do our things. Leave us alone. Let us get our stuff done. It's just the way that we want to accomplish it is different. And progressives see it succeeding in some countries. And so they keep thinking like that is the solution in the United States is we just need to do that. I don't know if it's the solution in the United States. I genuinely don't. Maybe we're too big. Maybe it's just never going to work that way. But you do see it succeeding fairly well in a lot of Western European countries. And I think that's just why we have that vision of like, okay, bigger government can actually solve some of these problems. And again, you can call it naive, but I think that's why there's a want for more trust in government. I don't think there is actually more trust in government. It's we want the government to be trustworthy because we think it's the only way to solve the problems. We don't think individuals can solve these problems.
All right. Okay.
It's naive.
I started out by giving you the response. You can say this is naive, and of course he just said that's naive.
You gave me permission. No, again, we want the same thing. I wish I could have more trust in the government. But I mentioned this earlier. We're seeing all these Europeans come over for the World Cup and go, wow, the U.S. is a lot different than I thought. That's the same. If we go to some of these European countries, we're going to go, oh, it's a lot different than I thought. When I went to Spain, where they have socialized healthcare, the healthcare was a lot different than I thought. You don't go there unless you want to die. You go to a private clinic, right? And so there's certain things we just don't understand about these other countries where you say, oh, yeah, it's working for them. Well, is it? If you go to Norway, no. If you go to Norway, how much is a Big Mac at McDonald's? It's like $25 for a Big Mac. Like
I've been to Norway. It's not $25.
Right.
A Big Mac in Norway is probably like $8.
No.
I guarantee I've been there, Josh. I was in Bergen like 4 years ago.
Okay, cool.
And we went to Burger King.
Their cost of living is ridiculous. It's like 3 times ours.
It's not 3 times ours.
Okay.
Housing is about the same. Food is about double. So you can just double.
Okay, double.
Double.
So, all right. Well, like a Big Mac here is like $8 now.
Just the Big Mac or the full meal?
No, just the Big Mac.
No, there's no way a Big Mac is $8.
I got a Whopper yesterday and it was $7.
Just the Whopper?
Just
not
the
a
Whopper.
value meal? Okay.
Just the Whopper.
I mean, maybe it's like 12, but it's not $20. I was there.
It's double. Yeah. It's at least double.
It's probably double. It's probably
so there are
double.
things that aren't working great, and these are the things that we don't understand. So that's all. That's why I say it's naive to just look at another country and go, oh, they got no problems. Well, the Scandinavian countries
they have no problems. They have some problems, but the quality of life over there is just radically different. It's so different.
So better than yes. Middle class here.
No. I would say yeah.
That's just a naive thing to say.
Well, I think Ryan's admitting that like the solutions that work in especially like the Northern European countries, like that it might not be as simple as just copy and paste, right? And like
that may be the problem.
Countries are different and people are different and things that work there don't necessarily work here. It's the same problem that we have by when we have Somalis come over here and they're, they're like defrauding us and we're like, whoa, they don't just have our same value systems, right? And like, it's different. They're different.
No,
right?
That's why I say it's naive. I was just going to say the Scandinavian countries are very homogenous, right? Mostly like-minded white people and much smaller populations. So the things that do work for them Are they going to work for us? We have a very diverse mix of people here. So it is naive to just say, oh, that's going to work here. If we just take their exact form of government and bring it over and give the government more power, that'll fix it. No, it's a different country. That's why I call it naive. I don't disagree with what you said, Rye, but there is a bit of naivete to it, especially as soon as you start to veer into the realm of socialism. That's just complete idiocy naivete.
Except it works really, really well.
No, it does not.
It does.
It hasn't worked anywhere it's been tried.
Oh, just a quick bonus. Does anybody know the population of Belgium?
I don't.
I don't know. No.
11 million people. We got our asses handed to us by a population that is less than half the size of my state. That is so sad. That is so sad.
What was that little teeny country that
Curacao?
Cape Verde?
Yeah.
Curacao and Cape Verde.
They have like 150,000 people.
Yeah.
They have like cab drivers out there on the field. It's awesome.
I know.
No, it's because like I was talking with my daughter and she's like, so is it about, so it's not about money? I'm like, well, it kind of is in that when everyone's playing it, there's, like if it's popular, then lots of people are playing it, then you
get the best
money and then you're getting more people, a bigger pool to choose from. Right. And so
there's also the training system too.
Yeah. Like if we played the World Cup football edition, right? America would probably destroy it, right?
Oh yeah. Or basketball. We dominated basketball. Okay, our top sports, baseballs are actually top sport. Our best athletes play baseball because there's a ton of money in it and you don't get hurt. Okay, and then you have football and then basketball and then maybe soccer.
Hockey's probably above it.
Hockey's there too, right?
Yeah.
So we have our 4th or 5th tier athletes playing soccer, whereas the rest of the world, they have their top tier athletes and they have better training systems. They have better club systems. There's a lot of things working against us.
You know what? 100% agreement on all of that, Josh.
Nice.
Yay. On that note, we got to move on. Iran ceasefire.
Yeah.
And we were going to talk about this like a little while ago, but we had to cancel because of a World Cup game. We had a conflict.
My bad. And I really wanted to talk about it. Yeah. It was like 2 weeks. We were going to talk about this 2 days after Trump came to the ceasefire agreement. And I was actually pretty fired up to talk about it. I thought it was interesting. But I was also like, there's also a World Cup game tonight. The U.S.
And it wasn't just any.
Turkey.
It was the U.S. The U.S. was playing Turkey.
Like, so sorry, guys. I need to make an excuse. My dog's sick.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because this has been like, we're working on a deal. Japan got a deal. It's going to be good. It's going to be a deal. Oh, we got a deal. Okay, hang on. We bombed the crap out of somebody. But the deal's still on, I think. Right. And it's like, but like the deal, I mean, it's still apparently we're bombing and doing little missions.
There was an attack on a ship in the Strait today.
Yeah. Today there was?
But there is traffic.
Iran hit it. Yeah, Iran hit a ship today because they didn't listen to him.
Yeah, but there is traffic going through the Strait of Hormuz. We're not at full capacity that we were prior to this this conflict.
This is a 60-day ceasefire with the framework for making a deal.
So, so after we canceled the next day when Iran bombed like 2 ships and then we bombed the crap out of them, I was like, well, I'm glad we didn't do that podcast. It would have not aged well.
Apparently the framework is still there. It's just...
All right, let's talk about the framework because it's interesting. Break it down, Ryan. Sure. This was yours.
All right. So and yes, again, I am getting very different media, so I get that. But very quickly, once this framework came out, there were lots of people who were comparing it to the Obama-Iran deal from 2015 and saying, okay, here's what Obama got Iran to concede to versus here's what Trump got Iran to concede to, right? And when you compare them, it is so much worse. And the best part about this, like, yes, definitely progressives are saying this, but even Trump's own party, you've got senators and representatives are coming out going, this is a terrible deal. This is terrible. And I can give a specific examples if you want, right? But it's really, really bad what we've agreed to. And Obama had a much better deal. right? Of course, Trump is going to lie about that because that's what he does. He's like, we got a great deal. No, we don't. So give an example, right? Under the Obama deal, Iran capped enrichment at 3.67% for 15 years, right? Currently, there is no agreement for capping enrichment. None. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's just not even there. Under the Obama deal, their stockpile was capped at 300 kilograms of that level of enriched uranium for 15 years. Again, no comparable deal. Reducing their installed centrifuges, Obama got them to reduce it dramatically. No comparable deal. Sanctions relief, we didn't give them any, except if they got rid of nuclear steps, right? So if they started to remove their nuclear stockpile, we would reduce sanctions. Under the current deal, we drop all sanctions and we actually give them $300 billion. Obama never agreed to give them $300 billion.
That's not accurate. See, that's what keeps getting reported, is that we're paying them $300 billion. That's not what we're doing.
I said they're going to get $300 billion. Provisionally, what the Trump administration wants to sell everybody on is that we're going to allow $300 billion of investment in the country.
Yes. That's different than us handing it to him.
Agreed.
That's how it was reported, that Trump was going to pay them $300 billion.
Right. And that's not what is in the framework. But right now, the framework says they will get $300 billion worth of investment with no specification for where that's coming from. The Trump administration is trying to spin that will not come from American taxpayers, but they have not guaranteed that. What they're trying to say is that will be external investment. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
That was never agreed to under Obama.
Apple's going to come in and put an Apple store in there or something like that. Right?
That's what they're trying to claim, right?
Well, what they said is they want the regional partners that have had problems with Iran forever to come in and start investing and working with Iran instead of just shunning them like they've done. Which, is it going to happen? I don't know. But we've had an Iran problem for a very long time.
I am totally...
Okay, I'm not saying that's not true.
Okay.
Did Obama's deal work? No.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes, it did work.
No.
Until Trump withdrew from the deal 4 years later.
Oh, geez. No, it did not work. There were so many problems. We had
inspectors in Iran verifying everything that was going on all the way up until Trump pulled us out.
No. That's just not true.
That is 100% true.
That was the deal. It's not. We had the deal, and it was supposed to be, okay, our inspectors are coming in. And Iran kept going, well, you have to give us a whole bunch of lead time. If you were going to come inspect a site, you have to give us like 2 months notice so we can move all the nuclear missiles, right? So our inspectors were feckless. They weren't getting anything done. So you can blame all this on Trump, but the obvious fallout of all of this is Obama handed them billions of dollars and they still built up their missiles and they were enriching uranium.
None of that is true.
That's all true.
And you say billions of dollars, it was he loosened sanctions.
He loosened sanctions. He never gave them American dollars.
Yes, he did, for the release of those hostages. He gave them pallets of cash. He handed them a whole bunch of money of American dollars.
I've got confirmation from the White House that we had IAEA, so International Atomic Inspection Agency. We had inspectors on the ground throughout the entire Obama period.
Well, I have no doubt about that. Do you really think they were they were obeying it exactly as they agreed?
Iran.
Definitively,
because they're such trustworthy people.
Not definitively. I can't say definitively. What do we have right now?
Well,
since we pulled out, do we have anybody there?
Why would we want somebody there? We're bombing them.
No. When Trump pulled out, Trump won, right? The first time he was in office, he pulled us out of the deal. Did we have inspectors there? During Trump won, we had zero inspectors. We haven't had inspectors there since then. Have they been going gangbusters trying to enrich uranium since Trump pulled us out?
You really want to tell 100%. Me they weren't going gangbusters before that?
There was not evidence to suggest they were.
I mean,
Israel was going in and like sabotaging their plants. We know they were enriching uranium.
This is the country, the number one sponsor of terrorism.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we're good for it, man. Believe us.
I'm talking to Trump's spin team right now. That's what it sounds like. That these are the world's most evil people on the planet. Now, yeah, I'm not going to try and defend Iran.
If we're Trump's spin team, then you are Obama's secret mistress.
You guys are like parroting stuff that's just patently not true. We had inspectors there. The inspectors were there, right? We had agreements in place. We capped their enrichment. Sure. We were not giving them money. Like, these are all things that were actually happening.
We did give them money.
We released money.
We released
and we gave them money. Look up the pallets of cash thing. It's so funny to me. You have to have definitive proof about Fauci and the gain of function lab.
But I just said the same thing here. Tom just asked, are you 100% certain? No, I'm not 100% certain. ChatGPT said Obama did not give Iran any money. They unfroze some assets. It was money that they already had. Go ahead and double check it.
I'm going to look it up. I am not your son. Holy crap.
I almost called you
Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
Yes. Based on, like, I'm a little dubious of anything that Iran like claims they were doing or whatnot, based on their effort in supporting terrorism, supporting Russia, and like basically sponsoring so much terrorism around the world. I don't know. I don't know if they're the kind of people I would.
Wall Street Journal. The Obama administration did authorize the physical transfer of $400 million in cash, followed by an additional $1.3 billion to Iran. However, the administration stated this was not a ransom in exchange for prisoners, but rather the settlement of a decades-old court-mandated financial dispute. Even though we got prisoners back right then. Of course, that's what the White House said. There was money for prisoners, because Obama was feckless. So don't tell me that we didn't hand them money. We handed them.
We gave them money. I'm not disagreeing that billions. We gave them money.
Okay.
The question is, was it their money to begin with?
Doesn't matter. Obama gave them money that we had, even if we had taken it in sanctions or whatever.
And what has Trump agreed to give them? They have $27 billion in frozen assets that Trump is agreeing to give them. $27 billion.
Okay.
So Obama has given them some money. He gave him some money that he's claiming belonged to them. All right, fine. Let's spin that however you want to spin that. We gave him some money under Obama. Fine. Trump is promising them $27 billion in frozen assets, getting rid of all sanctions, and then another $300 billion in investment.
Okay.
There's no way that you can argue that Trump is making a better deal than Obama had.
I never argued that.
So in both cases, they're giving him money, they're releasing assets. So it's basically their money, right? We're releasing assets that were theirs that were frozen. And
for the most part, except this new $300 billion that we don't fully understand.
That one is interesting. It to me, that reminds me of Rome and like the Romification, right? We're going to come in, we're going to put aqueducts in, right? We're going to put running water here. And it's like you're putting in your culture, right? And like that might, like they said, one of the most effective means for de-radicalizing a terrorist was TV, is what I read. It's like having to watch TV. And
it's not wrong.
No, I don't think it's wrong. Right, you modernize them, and you're like, oh, look, like this is what normal people do. This doesn't look too bad, right? And it's like, I think, I don't know if I don't know if that's a bad idea, right? To like have a KFC in Iran, right? But this is my thought. So it could be a very savvy strategic move, but yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a pile of cash. It's gonna be like we're gonna put this thing and we're gonna put this stuff in here. And
let's hope it's not a pile of cash.
That's what the White House said. Okay, when this was first announced, I was very like, this seems really terrible. And then what's the vice president's name? Vance.
Yeah.
His explanation it made sense. And again, he's a politician. I get that, but essentially he said, we're gonna try We just beat them. Yeah, we just beat them with the stick. Now we're going to dangle this carrot and try to get external investment in there, get all the regional partners to be more involved, because we don't want to have to keep going over there and dealing with this. If we can just get them to come into the 21st century and be partners with their neighbors, and they all invest in each other, then this problem goes away. You know what? That makes a lot of sense to me. That's a better that makes more sense than than redoing what we've already done.
My hands up.
Yes, hands up. Ryan.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Cragen, go.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure Josh is the person who said that was a terrible idea when Europe tried to do it with Russia.
Tried to broker
try and make really good relations by buying their oil and gas and like setting up trade and stuff like that.
No, I didn't say that was a terrible
you were
idea.
Like
they were dependent on the oil. That was the problem. Okay, I have no problem with diplomacy over war. That's good, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Actually, my problem was they were dependent on the oil. So, what recourse did they have when Russia attacked Ukraine and Russia threatens to shut off the oil? None. That's what Trump called them out on. Okay, Trump went in front of them twice before the Russia-Ukraine thing kicked off and said, "You guys need to quit buying their oil because you're dependent on it. Like you're just emboldening this terrible regime. Putin sucks." Like Trump was right about that. Whatever you feel about the guy, he was right about that for calling Europe out. So I appreciate you bringing that up. You're a little wrong there. I don't like that Europe was dependent. I'm okay with you trying. I'm okay with Israel trying a different strategy with Palestine, like not what they're doing right now. But when you have these age-old conflicts that won't go away, maybe we try something different. Kind of like this podcast with conservatives and conservatives and liberals more at odds than ever. Maybe we try talking. Maybe we try something different. So if that's really what Trump and Vance are trying to do, okay, maybe it works, because everything else we've done with Iran for 70 years, how long has it been now? Hasn't
worked. The Iranian Revolution,
like the 70s.
70s,
yeah,
50, 60 years.
Nothing else has worked. These people still suck. Maybe
we
this
didn't cause
works.
the problem. Let's just recognize we did this. So yeah, it was our fault in the first place.
That's so weird how your brain immediately goes to this white guilt thing.
It's not white guilt. That's straight up corruption. It was we wanted their oil, and they were like, "No, we don't want to give your oil anymore."
Instead of fixing it, your liberal brain immediately goes to, "Well, we caused it. We suck.
We should."
This is the thing. Josh was talking about all the things that our government's done that we're like in the past that we're like, well, we did some pretty questionable things. I wonder what we're doing right now that we don't even know about, right? Like funding, viral, gain of function viruses, like the ones we don't even know about that the government will be like, oh, we never want you to find out about this because one's so bad. Right?
What we're doing with Venezuela's oil,
oh, you heard about that one?
No,
we've got $3 billion in revenue from their oil since we took Hugo Chavez out. That's sitting in federal coffers. $3 billion.
Yeah, where's that money going to go? We'll probably never find out.
Yeah. And they just had those massive earthquakes, which is horrific. The death toll's over 4,000, and we're not giving them the money.
Why would
we gave more money.
We stole it fair and square, Ryan.
We gave more money to Haiti when they had their massive earthquakes in 2010 than we've given to Venezuela.
Well, you liberals should vote for more big government because it makes sense. These things make sense.
In Belgium.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, Obama had a better deal.
See, I can't agree with that because
Iran. It's true.
Iran still had nukes and missiles.
They still don't have nukes. They've never had nukes.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about?
They were still enriching uranium and building lots of missiles. And supporting terrorism all over the world. The world's best sponsor of terrorism. So I don't even care if you say it was better. The deal sucked. Obama's deal sucked. Sorry, because the problem's still there. The problem's still there. Is Trump still better?
I'm not even going to say that the deal sucked. I'm just saying that the deal was better.
Okay.
And Josh, what were you saying? Is Trump still better? What?
They're trying something different. If they're being honest, and again, this is how much I trust the government. I'm not even going to take what they're saying to my face at face value, right? But if they're being honest, they're trying to try something different. The crux of that idea, what Vance said, again, we don't want them to ever have nukes because we don't trust them to have nukes. Let's try to bring them into the 21st century and get people to invest in them so they'll quit being idiots. I like that. That makes sense to me. Is the deal in place? No, we're still shooting at each other, right? So it's a pretty loose framework of a deal. But that idea, you guys don't get nukes. Here's a carrot. Well, let's bring you into the 21st century. I like that. That sounds better to me than what Obama did. Because Obama's deal was, I'm going to give you all this money, and we're going to take you at your word that you're not enriching uranium, and we'll send inspectors once in a while, even though they're not really going to see anything because you're going to hide it because you're going to know when they're coming. Pretty feckless deal, and it clearly didn't work.
What I think is interesting is that throughout this ordeal, like the Iranian people, there hasn't been a peep about revolution or anything like that. And you would think they've had a regime change essentially. I mean, well, a leader change. I can't remember the name, Ayatollah, right?
Yeah.
And like it makes me like Iran cracked down so hard on them, right? They killed so many people. It's like they're like just broke the spine of the revolutionary spirit. You would think this would be an ideal time to try to. They're going to make a move.
We were 2 months too late.
Yeah,
probably what it came down to.
Well, and we talked about that, right? Like I think we all kind of would have been supportive of this intervention if we had just gotten there earlier while the revolution was happening. But Iran broke it so fast that it's kind of I think it's interesting, but like that.
It's a shame.
No, it is. Yeah, I think so. And
it makes me wonder, like, what the leadership structure looks like over there, because they keep agreeing to these deals, and then the next day they start shooting missiles at ships or drones or whatever. You're like, what's going on? So I still think, it's probably still pretty fractured. They probably have some guy agreeing to the deal and some crazy general sitting on the Strait of Hormuz.
Have you heard how it works? It's actually really interesting if you read about it. So the current leader, right, is completely in hiding because he doesn't want to get bombed, right?
Yeah.
So
and he will.
And he will. So, and he also he needs plastic surgery to fix his face because he was actually bombed when his dad was bombed, but he survived. So he's mutilated but survived, right? But they have a very diffuse framework.
The gay guy?
Potentially, we don't know. But they have a very diffuse leadership framework. So you have probably colonels, like the equivalent of colonels, who are manning these missile stations and drone stations all along the coast, but they don't necessarily have direct contact all the time. And then the negotiations, you don't actually have the head of government sitting in Turkey or wherever it is, Qatar, with our vice president. He's sending somebody, and they can't even call him because he knows that the U.S. can track phone calls. So they'll call somebody.
On that. Leader.
So they have to call somebody who then writes it down, and then they'll send 50 couriers out, playing some game and hiding it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
It takes days to do any negotiations. And then at the same time, all these little local colonels, they're the ones who have been told, hey, if you see a ship, blow it up. And they're like, oh, got it, right? And then they don't get any new orders for weeks. So they're like, I guess I'm blowing up ships, right? So it's a very weird system that we don't fully understand because here in the U.S., all of our communications are secure, right?
Well, at least Twitter.
Well, these guys are using carrier pigeons. The president just sent me a carrier pigeon to shoot our nukes.
No, and based on the results, that tracks, right?
I assumed it had to be something like that.
Yeah,
because
it's complicated.
The left hand doesn't even know what the right hand's doing.
No,
and I can just imagine Trump come on out so we can talk. It'll be great. Oh, there he is! Bomb him! Bomb him!
Yes. Shoot him now! Secret Service, shoot him!
100%.
Okay, we got that one. Now send out your next guy. Yeah. It'll be great.
Yeah, he's gonna be in that basement forever because they'll probably get him at some point. All right.
That'd be if he was in Saddam Hussein's same bunker, just hiding.
Totally.
Wasn't that just in a basement?
It's like in a cellar outside somewhere.
Yeah,
some
it was
pit.
Like in somebody's cellar. He was hiding there. Yeah. That's
what else? Anything? We got some agreement, some things tonight. It was interesting. Any other final words? All right.
Who do you guys have for winning the World Cup? Let's just do that.
It's going to be France again, and I hate France. Like, I'm so sick of France and Argentina in there. Like, anybody but them, I'm happy with. I'm going to root for Spain because that's where I served my mission. I love Spain, but it's going to be France. They're just so good. I hate them.
Tommy?
Norway. They've never won.
Ooh.
They've been fun to watch. They've been good.
Erling Haaland for the win, huh? Don't think he can stop him?
He's a freak.
He is.
They probably won't win, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, well, they looked really good the other day. You, Ryan, what do you think?
I mean, if I'm just going off probability, I think you're right. It's probably France, but I would not rule out Argentina, especially after what they did today, right? They're grinders, man. They will grind it out. Probably France. Spain is a long shot, Argentina is a long shot, and Norway is a long shot.
Well, I mean, we just talked about Trump. I think Jason might be right. Maybe the U.S. can get back in it.
The U.S. is like playing in a hidden secret game.
What I was telling people after going into the round of 32, I thought it would have been perfect for the U.S. to invade Canada and Mexico, because then we would have had 3 teams in the World Cup.
Yeah,
it could have been a U.S. final. How cool would that have been?
Like
USA versus USA North versus USA South.
How awesome would that have been? So we should time our wars better next World Cup. Maybe we just have to take over France. I don't know.
All right, so France beats Morocco probably.
Spain
but beats
Morocco's
Belgium
good.
And most likely.
Yep.
I think Norway could take England, but that's a toss-up. And Argentina will probably beat Switzerland. I didn't realize Switzerland beat Colombia. That's a bit of a surprise to me. So that just finished. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're down to like known quantities at this point. The two dark horses in this are Morocco and Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Morocco's surprisingly good. They had a good run last time.
Yeah, they're a good team. So,
all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We will talk to you next time.
Hopefully, our information is not 2 and 3 weeks out of date. What we want to talk about.
See ya.
Josh, we may not always agree when it comes to politics, even though we're trying, but there is one thing we agree on. There is only one way to clean up after going to the bathroom, and that's with a Lux bidet.
I've been a proud owner of a Lux bidet for years. I have literally owned a Lux Neo 320 since 2013. That's the warm water model. Talk about happy, fun, poopy time. When I leave the bathroom, I know I'm clean and ready to talk politics in a civilized manner.
Exactly. Using a toilet without a bidet is about as uncivilized as it gets. Civil conversations demand civil hygiene practices.
And that is why our listeners should get themselves a Lux bidet.
And just to be clear, Lux is not supporting one side or the other in this podcast. They support civil conversations and clean butts.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Finding Common Battlegrounds. The music is by Ben Sound. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the participants and not those of their employers. For more information or more episodes, you can find us at findingcommonbattlegrounds.com.